Hi guys, it's Olivia here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and today I'm going to do another book review for you. Today the book I'm going to be talking about is Revised Orders by Irene Helenowski. I made a video for the previous book, The Order of Dimensions, last week, and I think it was last week, or it was the week before, and I'm just going to put a link down below to that so you can watch me talk about that book as well. But this time we're going to be addressing the sequel, and don't worry, this is a spoiler-free review, so no spoilers for the first book. I actually was really looking forward to reading the sequel after I read the first one, and I just couldn't wait to get started because I just had enjoyed the first one quite a bit. And this one, as the first one is about switching dimensions, and there's a criminal group called the Order who want to take over all the dimensions. And Randy and his team of fellow dimension travelers are trying to fix that problem. In this one, it was kind of interesting, but at the same time it was difficult to take a grasp on. There were so many different aspects of this novel, so many different things happening. Just so this review doesn't get confusing, I'm going to call the evil Anton's Zelovs, which is his last name, because in every dimension you have an alter, which is another version of yourself, and some of Anton's alters were good and some of them were bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and call the good ones Anton and the bad ones Zelov so you don't get confused. And I think that's what the book generally tries to do as well, so I'm going to try and stick with that. So the first thing I'm going to say is that it was kind of sad here because of the romance. The couple that I really ship the most, which is Randy and Jane, they are together in the first book, so it's not a spoiler. But the couple I ship the most aren't actually together in this one. They spend a lot of time apart because of complications to do with the Order and things like that. So it's really sad. But let me start with the bad things about this book to get that all over with, and then we'll just move along to the good stuff. So the bad things. Well, one of the bad things about this novel was when they travel dimensions, kind of like I mentioned in the first novel, in the first review, is that they still just know things that they shouldn't just know as soon as they get to a dimension. They just generally have an understanding of what's happening in that dimension. And I don't find that too realistic, so it's a bit of a shame that it's like that sometimes. It just seems so much like book one. Like there were things that were different in this novel, but there were so many things that just wasn't, and I couldn't love it because of the similarity it still had to the first one. I wanted something new in this book. It got a bit tiring because the plot is very fluctuating. There's the whole, oh, the Order's conquered, oh no it isn't. Oh, it's conquered, oh no it isn't. And that happens quite a bit, not in the second half of the novel, but more so in the beginning of the novel, and that got a bit tiring at some points, and I just was like, okay, we get it, the Order's never quite solved. Let's move on. And sometimes the characters were suddenly able to do stuff that they weren't able to do before, and I just found it a bit sudden. Like, it doesn't happen that easily or that quickly, really. Like, they have this new cool idea, which is where alters could send thoughts to other alters in different dimensions. So through like the computer and whatever, you can make another version of yourself think something that you want them to think, which is a really cool idea, but they were just like, oh yeah, they were able to do that. And there was no explanation as to how they were able to do that. So that kind of bothered me, but I got over it. Because there were some good things about this novel, and let me start telling you the good things. The good things was that I was able to get right back into the story. It kind of has a little introductory chapter where we get to know the characters again, and we get to see where they are in their current setting in life before we just be thrown back into the plot happening and all that stuff. So it was a good introduction, and I was able to quickly pick this one back up, quickly get into the world, and quickly get into everything. The writing was really good in some places of this novel. Generally, the writing of the whole series so far has just been okay, but there were some good moments in this one. And one of those good moments especially had to be when there was Nina, who was this disabled girl, and oh my goodness, it made me so angry. Like, it made me really angry because she was disabled and she was treated so badly. It made me so angry. I just wanted to punch somebody. I know you're thinking like, whoa, Olivia, where is this coming from? But the thing is that I think the author wrote this in a way that should make the reader feel angry and disgusted by the way this girl is treated. So good job to Helenowski for being able to do that, because she was aiming for that, and it did. It evoked those certain feelings in me, and I couldn't take it. Even thinking about it makes me so angry right now. I just want to go to those people who treat disabled people like that and give them a good lesson. Also, I did mention in the previous review that I was really liking Maggie's character. I really wanted to see more of her because she only came in towards the end of the first book, but in this book she's not really featured that much. She's in there, but she's not in there majorly. She's mostly in the beginning. And I did like her character and the role that she played. I thought she did a good job with Maggie's character, and Maggie's having a bit of trust issues after a big betrayal that happened in the first book. I'm not going to give away what it was, and those trust issues seem justified and right, but it was just so sad to see my character breaking down like that and not seeing as much of her as I would have liked. So maybe in the last book, but I don't have very high hopes for that. The new character who there was a lot of focus on was not so much Jane as I thought it would be, but it was this time Tina, especially in the second half of the book where you really got to see a lot of Tina. And this was when most of the plot had developed and finished happening, so it was really about how Tina was having troubles thinking about her future, aspiring, her goals, and I think that's something that we can always relate to. We can always see or maybe have a close family member or friend who just seems to get everything right happen in their life. Maybe it's not necessarily that way, but you can just feel like that's happening for them, and you're like, oh my gosh, where am I going in my future? Will I ever find someone to love? And all of that. So I'm pretty sure we can all relate to Tina at some point, as I could in this book. So yeah, I really like Tina's character and how she was portrayed here, and I have to say, Tina's character has come a long way since book 1. So that's quite something. There are lots of new characters in this one. Zelov, being his evil self, is not alone in his evilness. There's some more new villainish kind of characters in this one. And as well as that, I don't really have much else to say. I really like this book, and hopefully by next week I'll have finished the next one in this series. They're really quick to go because they've got big writing font and everything, so I just race through them. So I'm going to start the third one probably this weekend, and I hope to have the video for that one up next Friday. If not, you'll see me with another video, but I'll see you next week. Either way, my lovely darlings, goodbye!